Hi, I'm Amy Ricker, and this is my case study on parental apathy. In the beginning of this, the problem identification, what do you know? We know that Mrs. Rose is a new assistant principal at John F. Kennedy School. She's just finished her master's degree, and her last class that she took was social and communication, school and community relations, She's wanting to see great things at the school. She's excited about starting this new job, but after just getting into the job a few months, she's noticing a very big problem with limited parent involvement. There's lack of support from the principal to do anything about this. She's asked him a couple of different times, asking about doing something, and his explanation is that he has a good relationship already with the community, and that in the past he's found parents didn't want to be involved. After repeated asking of the administration, the principal finally decides to go ahead and allow for a meeting. And when they hold that first meeting, only 8 parents show up to the meeting. What do we need to know? Why are the parents not getting involved? In the past, the principal said that he's talked to parents on the phone, and they don't want to help in the lunchroom, things like that. But that wasn't a real good explanation of why parents aren't wanting to be involved. What's happened in the past? There used to be PTA and a PTO group. Why did they disband? Why are they no longer a part of this school district? I think that's a great big concern there. Why does the principal not want to support having these groups? He tells Mrs. Rose that, okay, you can go ahead and hold this meeting, but he is not in favor of having a PTA or a PTO again. Why is that? Is he afraid of something? Has something happened in the past? Why doesn't he support these issues? And what ways have the parents been contacted before about getting involved? Is it only just a handful of parents? Has he done a survey? Has he sent letters home, newsletters, done any polling, asked questions, or has he just kind of hem-hawed around and idly stood by and just made assumptions? So what is our overall problem? Our overall problem is, why is there a lack of school community relations? Why is that communication, what is the communication barrier? Why is this principal not wanting to build those relations and make them better? How do we get the community and the parents to be more involved? What can the principal and the assistant principal do to get these parents involved? And how do we get the current principal and other stakeholders involved? How do we get them on board with the assistant principal who wants to better those school community relations? So we make a proposed plan. Something that we know is effective educated leaders engage families and the community in meaningful, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial ways to promote each student's academic success and well-being. We know that if we have good school community relations and communication, that we are doing what's best for students. We are letting students know that, hey, we're on the same page whenever there's a problem, whenever there's a concern, and when both parties are involved, that helps students to be better. That helps them to grow and to prosper, and it helps your community to grow and be stronger too. So strategies for implementation. The first thing I would have done is I would do a parent survey. Based off information, I would be sending out surveys through snail mail, through emails. You could do polls through Google, SurveyMonkey, lots of ways that you could gather information. Parent-teacher conferences. Our school always, in the spring, hands out a survey at parent-teacher conferences for parents to fill out, asking things that we're wanting to know. And that helps to gain information so that we can make our school better. And then off of that information that you could do from your parent survey, you could use that information that you gain to ask questions. It also, in your survey, one of the things you could ask is, how do parents want to be contacted? How do they want to be made aware of things that are going on, upcoming meetings, issues, concerns, fundraisers, any type of thing like that? I would have also gone ahead and met with those 8 parents that showed up for that first meeting. I would ask them some questions that would help maybe tailor your survey that you send out to your parents later on. What are those 8 parents' concerns? What do they see? What do they think is going? What's good? What's the bad? What's the ugly? And then also ask them, how do they like to be communicated with? And then based off of that meeting with those 8 parents, surveys that you send out and gain back, then you can use that information to move forward. I think that another thing that needs to be worked on in this school is how they communicate with parents, just to let them know there's going to be a meeting. Something our school does that's really nice is we do what's called fridge notes. They're short little notes that highlight different things that are going on in the school. Maybe a calendar of upcoming activities in the week, if there's state assessments coming up, if there's like the 4th grade spelling bees coming up, holidays, programs, things like that. Teachers can put in their little snippets if their grade is doing something. We also sometimes have like a little safety deal to let parents know, hey, inclement weather's coming up. Here's our process if we have to let school out early, things like that. So sending home weekly notes that would help remind parents to take time to fill out the survey. After collecting the data from surveys and other stakeholders, you could prioritize those concerns and use that to guide topics at your next community night. And you could post those reminders at the upcoming community meetings that you're going to hold in those fridge notes. And then the third thing I would do is hold a community night. I think that's a great way, and it may take more than one community night. You might have to have several. Not everybody can attend the same night. And that principal sent out a note on a Friday and was asking parents to come on a Monday night. You know, some people don't fly by the seat of their pants. They have to plan ahead. They're busy. Our lives are all busy. So if you send out that you're going to have several of these different meetings and plan them at different times, different nights of the week, maybe some are over the lunch hour, whatever, take your data that you gained from your surveys and use those to tailor the information or the questions that you would ask and the topics to guide your discussions. I like roundtable discussions where everybody's sitting around the table. You have a topic in the middle of your table, and that's the topic you talk about. And maybe at another table is another topic, and another table has a different topic. And throughout the night, you move through those tables and have discussions, and somebody takes some notes and writes down things. Those roundtable discussions can help to promote a shared vision for everybody involved, for your community, for your school, for the best interest of your students. Okay, so now we're going to resolve the issue based off of promoting the success of all students. What is best for students? How do we develop and advocate our share and have a shared mission and vision for our kids? You have to monitor and evaluate the progress and revise your plans. It's something that should always be considered. There's always room for change. Just because it worked today or it's a great idea, that, you know, sometimes things have to be tweaked. You might implement it and learn from that. As a special ed teacher, I do that a lot. I have to try things and tweak it, and what works today for one student might not work for tomorrow for that same student. And I have to learn from those situations. If I'm looking for ways to improve a situation, you're keeping the student's best interests in mind. Always look for ways that you can change things to make things better. Improve communication with all stakeholders. I know the principal said he felt like he had a good relationship with the community, but I kind of feel like maybe that's not the truth. And so we need to work on promoting a better communication to obtain our vision. And through newsletters and surveys and community discussions, we're making ourselves very approachable to the community. We're letting them know we care, that we have an open door and we want them to talk to us. We may not like what people have to say, but everybody has an opinion and everybody's welcome to that opinion. And sometimes when you take time to listen, you might actually hear something hidden in that discussion that you have with them. They might have come at you real strong, but if you really truly listen, they have a point sometimes. And I think by being an open community, an open school, and opening our communication, we're welcoming families and other members of our community into our schools and making them feel like they have a piece of the say-so too. If you have buy-in from all parties, then students are going to be more successful. Debriefing the problem. Develop the capacity, opportunities, and support for teacher leadership and leadership from other members of the school community. We aren't just teachers ourselves. The community sometimes has a lot to offer when we open our doors and we're open-minded and we let them come in and help. Reflecting on what I was thinking. What is best for students? I want open communication because that's what's best. If you don't talk about issues and concerns and problems and what's good and what's not good, you're never going to grow, you're never going to make yourself better, and you're not going to help those kids to strive. The principal needs to be more open-minded. I felt like he was very narrow-minded and very stuck in a rut. And he needs to step up. He needs to step up his game and see that they're not going anywhere, and students maybe appear to be successful, but they could be so much more successful if you would open yourselves up with that communication to the community. What I was feeling, I was very disappointed in the current lack of administration support. When a new team player comes in and they have something to offer, be open-minded, explore, let them try. Maybe it might not work out to their best advantage, and then they learn something too. But communication and lack of communication, those are big hindrances. And in the school setting I'm in currently, I am trying to learn from some of the lack of communication from administration and make that a big point in when someday I'm an administrator. I was very proud of the assistant principal for taking a stand, and she was determined. She continued to move forward with her shared vision. She kept at it. She found ways to nicely work about it. And I think maybe if she was given that opportunity to continue, I think that would make the situation even better. And values. Like I said, I value communication. That is the biggest way. If you do not communicate and you assume, you can have a lot of issues, be a big major problem. Communication has to be there to be successful in whatever you do. Persistence. I think if you're persistent and you work at it, even though you might have to tweak things and change some things and say, hey, you know what, that didn't work very well. I think persistence gets you a long ways. And leadership, being a leader, stepping out there, taking charge, those are all great aspects of an administrator. And when you ask those things of your teachers and of parents and of community members, you will see great things happen. So reflecting, unresolved or opened issues or further investigation. Why aren't parents getting involved? Parents aren't getting involved because the lack of communication. Something's happened in the past. They weren't given options. Come help in the lunchroom, and that was it. Maybe that's not everybody's cup of tea. Why aren't parents getting involved? What's happened in the past? We still need to know why parents in the past have disbanded their PTA groups, their PTO groups. What happened to those groups? Did somebody get mad? Was the funding not there? What lack of support? What from administration, from your Board of Education? What happened there? We need more information there. And I think if you would ask in those surveys and things like that, maybe what didn't go well in the past and what were things that they'd like to see better in the past, that might help to rebuild those groups. And can you get your administration on board to try to start a PTA group again? Why was he so against starting a group again? Promote the academic success of every student by going ahead and holding the first meeting. You let parents know that you truly want to make a change, and you're helping to promote a shared vision and mission and promote better education. Personal well-being, families partner in education of their children. Students are known, accepted, valued, and empowered to reach their fullest potential. And promoting communities of engagement and families and stakeholders. It provides a welcoming environment to your families, communities, lets them know you're approachable, and it gives a positive experience to build those relationships.